You're listening to Trump-Epstein statue returns to National Mall, a news story written by Joe Heim and read by an AI-generated voice. A 10-foot-tall statue of President Donald Trump and disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, holding hands and each with a foot raised behind him, returned to the National Mall on Thursday afternoon, a week after the National Park Service removed it for not being compliant with an issued permit. During the removal, parts of the statue were broken, and Trump and Epstein's hands were no longer joined. But the statue, spray-painted bronze, appeared fully restored Thursday, with only minor damage still apparent and the hands once again clasped together. The statue, titled Best Friends Forever, is the latest protest installations created by an anonymous group of artists critical of the administration. The artists, whose identities are not known to the Washington Post, said the statue was returned by the Park Service last Thursday. They provided email exchanges between the National Park Service and Carol Fleischer, a D.C.-based location manager who filed the permit application with the agency on behalf of the artists. In a September 30th email confirming receipt of the latest permit application, the Park Service wrote that the application is deemed granted within 24 hours of receipt of application unless a written denial has been issued. A subsequent email sent Thursday morning confirmed that the permit would go into effect at noon. Efforts to reach the National Park Service for comment were unsuccessful. A post-email sent to an agency spokesperson on Wednesday seeking comment received an automatic reply noting that the person was out of the office on furlough because of the federal government shutdown. The return of the statue was greeted with surprise and approval by some tourists and visitors who stopped to see it Thursday afternoon. "I love it," said Tanja Newby, 54, of Hyattsville, Maryland, who said she had lost her job as part of a reduction in force at the Department of Housing and Urban Development after 36 years. "We all got duped, so any laugh we get these days, I'm taking it." Newby's last day as a federal employee was earlier this week. Melinda Winters, 82, of Knoxville, Tennessee, happened upon the statue as she was walking along the mall with a friend. "I more than love it," she said. "If you can think of something higher than love, put that down." An artist, Winters did have one criticism of the statue. "They didn't make them look ugly enough," she said. A woman wearing a cardboard placard that read, "Epstein list you cowards," declined to be interviewed. A plaque at the base of the installation reads, "We celebrate the long-lasting bond between President Donald J. Trump and his closest friend, Jeffrey Epstein." Trump and Epstein, a wealthy financier, were once friends, but a real estate deal in 2004 appears to have upended their relationship. When Epstein was arrested in 2019 on suspicion of sex trafficking underage girls, Trump, then in his first term as president, said, "I had a falling out with him a long time ago. I don't think I've spoken to him for 15 years. I wasn't a fan." Epstein was convicted of sex offenses and died in jail in 2019. The relationship between Trump and Epstein has come into sharper focus this year as both supporters and critics of the administration have called for the full release of files related to Epstein. The White House declined to comment on the return of the statue and pointed to its statement when the statue was first placed on the mall a week ago. Liberals are free to waste their money however they see fit. But it's not news that Epstein knew Donald Trump, because Donald Trump kicked Epstein out of his club for being a creep, White House spokeswoman Abigail Jackson wrote in an email at the time. The artists responsible for the Trump and Epstein statue have produced statues and artworks targeting the president and his followers in Washington, Philadelphia, and Portland, Oregon. In June, the group placed an installation on the mall titled "Dictator Approved" that included statements of support for Trump from authoritarian leaders, Russian President Vladimir Putin, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro, and North Korea's Kim Jong-un. The first piece of protest art by the group appeared on the mall last October, when it installed a replica of the desk of former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi that included a fake pile of poop on top of it. That work paid mock tribute to the January 6, 2021, rioters who stormed the U.S. Capitol in an attempt to overturn the 2020 election. The removal of the Trump and Epstein statue is the only time one of the group's works has been taken down by a federal agency before its permit expired.
Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, it is a known fact that Donald Trump is on those Epstein files. That is why they are not releasing them. You better do what the American people demand, Donald Trump, or it's gonna be a whole hell load for you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy this reporting, please firstly like, comment, share, subscribe, and enjoy. Secondly, if you would like to make sure that you're always up to date, please hit the bell icon as well as the all notifications option. It's completely free of charge. It does not cost anything. No paywall, no nothing. Next, ladies and gentlemen, please help me reach and achieve the goal of 290 plus subscribers, ladies and gentlemen, for the subscriber goal. And please keep the algorithm up by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, please stay positive, please stay safe. And I look forward to talking to you guys in my next legal breaking reporting video analysis update tomorrow.